Honestly, in a series this densely packed with jokes, it was really hard to pick. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest Arrested Development moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at some of the greatest one-liners, hilarious scenes, and memorably funny moments from this beloved series. If you didn't see one of your favorite recurring bits, make sure to check out our other video, Top 10 Arrested Development Running Gags. Number 10, Mayonegg.
Hey, can I bring Anne?
Who?
Anne.
Young love. It's a wonderful thing. But it can also make you see your partner through rose-colored glasses. Though Michael might have been a little quick to judge his son's girlfriend, and hilariously incapable of remembering that she exists, we can't fault him for the revulsion he felt in this moment.
Oh, it's so cute. She sometimes takes a little pack of mayonnaise and she'll squirt it in her mouth, and then she'll take an egg and kind of, she calls it a Mayonegg.
George Michael, you should follow your heart. But your description of the process behind a Mayonegg is indeed stomach-turning. And no, it's not so cute.
I'm sure that Egg is a very nice person. I just don't want you spending all your money getting her all glittered up for Easter.
Also, when trying to make a good impression with your significant other's parents, maybe don't whip out a hard-boiled egg.
Are you okay?
I don't feel so good.
Number 9, the Winky face medicine.
Is your mother drunk?
I'd have to get up pretty early to get drunk by 1 o'clock.
Day drinking, familial manipulation, and a refusal to answer questions she doesn't understand. Lucille Bluth has got a lot of, let's call them odd quirks and endearing eccentricities. But her winks? Those are legendary. Her whole family abuses the knowing wink, but it's everyone's favorite problematic matriarch who has the single greatest winking moment in the history of the series. As we said, Lucille likes to drink, and she's used to getting her way. So when her medication featured an image of an eye and a drink crossed out, she interpreted this rather straightforward drowsy eye warning as a winking suggestion to have a drink. That's not how prescription bottles work.
Call for a car.
Unfortunately, this was after a failed attempt to do so.
But who the hell put...
Number 8, Buster tells us how he really feels.
I'm Mom, and I want to shoot down everything you say so I feel good about myself.
The youngest of the Bluth siblings takes the concept of the baby in the family to absurd extremes. And with his charming man-childishness, he's been at the center of many of the show's funniest and most quotable moments. Like when he mistook boxed wine for a big juice box. In this other particularly memorable episode, Buster and Lucille's love-hate relationship sees Michael forced to temporarily take over the parenting duties of his younger adult brother.
I'm an uptight Buster!
Everything about their dynamic in this episode is hilarious, but it's the moment when all the siblings get together to rag on their mom that Buster really comes out of his shell.
Well, no one's gonna top that.
We couldn't have said it better ourselves, Michael. Number 7, fire sale.
Am I panicked about the fire, or am I being brave for everyone else?
Speaking of fan-favorite characters, how about Tobias Funke, the psychoanalyst/therapist turned struggling actor? For a man who was once a licensed mental health practitioner, he sure seems to struggle with coming to grips with reality, seeing things objectively, and reading the room. Or a script, for that matter.
Oh my God! We're having a fire sale! Oh, the burning! It burns me!
Tobias's big audition is for a simple and straightforward role, but fixating on the word fire, he completely misses the point and launches into one absolutely ridiculous performance. Again, this is an ad for a fire sale. Tobias did not get the part, but it certainly was a pleasure for us as viewers to watch him work.
Would you like to try that a little simpler, maybe?
No.
Number 6, the dead dove.
We just say,
I know, but you just...
doesn't matter who.
As anyone who's lived in a house with a big family or shared an apartment with roommates will tell you, it's important to label the stuff in the fridge and freezer, or risk having it eaten. This is clearly the logic that Job was operating under when he left this clearly labeled brown paper bag in the fridge. But you can't really blame Michael for doing a double take and, in disbelief, feeling the need to investigate the note's outlandish claims. He's understandably horrified and disgusted when he looks inside and finds a dead dove. But it's his one-line response that really sells the moment. Thankfully, as instructed, he does not eat it.
I don't know what I expected.
Number 5. You Blowhard.
Valentine's Day. Oh!
As we were saying, self-awareness isn't exactly Tobias's strong suit. So much of what comes out of his mouth when speaking to men is sexual innuendo. It's honestly staggering.
It's a wonderful package. I'll take it.
And yet, despite a career in psychoanalysis and therapy, Tobias is blissfully unaware of his many, many overt Freudian slips. At Michael's suggestion, after telling his brother-in-law,
I tell you can zing your arrow into my buttocks anytime.
he records himself. When he finally listens back to the tape, he does recognize a pattern, but not the obvious one. Hammering the point home with yet another suggestive exclamation, Tobias proves that he learned nothing. And we walked away with a lesson in just how deep denial can run.
And he realizes there is something distinct about the way he speaks.
Tobias. You blowhard.
Number 4. Bees.
For your information, I got a job.
Really? What kind of job?
Beads.
You know what's nice about Job? He doesn't need to understand something, like, at all, to jump on board or get super competitive about it. Case in point, when Lindsay tries pitching a business idea involving beads, as in B-E-A-D-S, Job hears bees, B-E-E-S, and, seeing dollar signs, impulsively fixates on the concept.
How hard can it be?
His weird, buzzing enthusiasm is only surpassed in its intensity by his complete lack of research and forethought.
Or just as gifts?
Who'd want a bee as a gift?
Though this hilarious gag was originally limited to a single episode in Season 1, it flew back into the picture in Season 4 as part of Job's storyline, making for a welcome callback.
The only thing I've got back there are my bees.
Beans?
No, bees!
Bees?
Bees!
Bees! Oh, bees!
Number 3. Hardboiled Eggs.
Why, Michael? So you can fly away from your feelings.
One of the best subtle running gags in this reference-heavy series is the Charlie Brown walk, in which a character lowers their head and slowly walks to the melancholic music of Charlie Brown from the famed animated TV specials. In this Season 2 episode, which actually takes its title from Charlie Brown, Tobias takes home the award for Best Setup to a Charlie Brown Walk.
Hey, where the are my hard-boiled eggs?
Mid-lecture, while psychoanalyzing Michael, Tobias suddenly cuts himself off upon discovering that his hard-boiled eggs are missing. It's totally random, but his sudden angry outburst and subsequent depression have made it one of the most quotable lines from the series. Number 2, Franklin Comes Alive.
Hard to see when you got someone's hand up your ass.
All right, let's lose the puppet.
Job and Franklin have a long history of racially charged humor. It's incredibly problematic, to say the least, to have a white magician operating a stereotypically streetwise black ventriloquist doll. Handled carefully within the context of the show, however, in which everyone is aware of this fact except for Job, it makes for some very funny, cringeworthy moments, because Job takes Franklin and his work with Franklin very seriously. With all due respect to Job and his hilariously misguided Franklin-related material, it's Buster who really earned Franklin a spot on this list, when he became the shocking voice of Buster's real feelings towards his mother.
I don't want no part of your tight-ass country club, you freak!
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
There's always money in the banana stand!
Cup of soup? Maybe I had a stew going.
I think I'd like my money back.
George Michael Bluth is a cool guy. His dad is a powerful executive working for this man.
Number 1, Mrs. Featherbottom.
My name is Philidia Featherbottom, and I can cook, and I can clean, and I can take care of the little ones.
Ah, Tobias, you poor deluded man. As an attempt to get closer with his wife and daughter, but also, showcase his acting chops, the disgraced, analyst therapist decides to pull a Mrs. Doubtfire, with just a little dash of Mary Poppins. He fools literally nobody, but the family is happy to see him actually being useful for once, so they just go along with it.
The love of the family is more than enough.
This prompts an exasperated Tobias as Mrs. Featherbottom to try to out himself, attempts which the family collectively ignores in the name of a clean home. Tobias's performance as Mrs. Featherbottom is downright ridiculous, painfully funny, and has near infinite replay value. It's Arrested Development at its best.
Oh, telling your mother this, shan't we?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.